Hello and welcome to Life in Mandyland. I'm your host, Mandy, and I've got such a good one for you today. This is where we flow and vibe and share stories and be our just amazing selves. And I have got an incredible, beautiful, awesome divine being with me today that I'm going to let her introduce herself in a moment, but first, you're going to hear what I felt the moment I saw this beautiful queen come across my screen. So, I started following her on TikTok a while back, and when I came across her, just glowing. That's just the first word that I saw. I mean, just gorgeous and glowing, and the energy, the presence, the love, the support, the like. I was like, I have got to have this beautiful being on my podcast. Like, she's got to come on and she's got to tell me some of the things because when I see a divine being like this, I know there's stories behind that. I know there's some shit this person has been through, walked through, alchemized. Like, it is incredible just knowing that there is a whole bunch there. And I'm like, I gotta know more. I gotta know what is it and who is this beautiful divine being and how did you get to where you are. But the love, the support, the every time you come to her page, it is super encouraging. She is Inner Bliss Healing. This is Ashley Cagle and Inner Bliss Healing and a spiritual therapist. And on TikTok, she is your spiritual therapist. And the name is so perfect because that's what she is. Everything she says and does is just exuding life force energy out of her. And I am so excited for you to be here and I'm ready to vibe with you. Tell us all about you. I just want to know all the things. Oh, before you do, we were talking earlier because we had some technical difficulties, but I was wondering. Now you're laughing. Okay, you froze just a little bit. Um, but okay, on your screen, can you brighten it up a little bit or no? You know how the
Let me see here. If not, I will figure this out.
because I need to see your beautiful face. I mean, I can still see you. It's a little dim, but I can still see you.
Let me, let me. I can fix this. I'm gonna go through my house real quick. You might hear some loud noises.
Okay.
Okay, here we go. All right, let me go to a room where you can. Hi, baby. Okay, let me go in my daughter's room. Daisy, mommy has to go in here real quick, okay? Okay. She's gonna be mad, but I have to lock her out for a second. Oh, okay. This is her room.
There you are.
Okay.
And no, this is like super real life. That's what we do. We're in real life right now. Having
Yes.
beautiful babies. Okay, tell
Thank
me.
you.
Yes. Tell me about you. I want to know. I want to know. Did you have an awakening? Did you what has happened and where how are you? Because I can feel the ripple effect whenever I'm watching your stuff. So, tell me all about you. And welcome, and I'm
Okay.
honored for you to be here. Thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me. That was awesome. I'm happy that I'm doing this. This is going to be fun. And I'm excited to be here. um, well, as you know, my name is Ashley Cagle, and I'm owner of Inner Bliss Healing. Um, it's something I've always done. I've always helped people and everything like that. I've always been there for everybody. Um, Mostly my entire life. But I will tell you, my awakening. Now, first, we're soul living a human experience, and it's some people think that's just an opinion, but I feel it in my entire being. I've had dreams about it, just little sparks, little feelings that I get. um I believe that you go through different spiritual awakenings, and some people have spiritual awakenings, wakes them up a little bit, then bam, the big thing, which is the divine spiritual awakening. And I was awakened by Dolores Cannon. I didn't even know what awakening was. I didn't know what the healing journey was. Like, I never even heard, like, I know what it's like to heal, but I didn't understand anything. None of it. Um, I was on my Instagram one day. So, I haven't been on my Instagram in forever. This was like about 4 or 5 years ago. I just decided one day something said, "Hey, pick up your Instagram." I'm like, okay, whatever. So I pick it up, and it kept glitching, and it was pissing me off. It really was. It was upsetting me. And then I never even heard of Dolores Cannon, and my phone totally cut off. Battery died, and it had about 80% battery. All of a sudden, because I saw a glitch of what was Dolores Cannon, and then when it died, um, I something about that video, something kept telling me like it was like a dog going after a steak. This is such a crazy analogy, but I had something told me I had to get back to that video. I don't know why. I was having anxiety. I was like, I don't know why I'm feeling this way. Like I get anxiety, but this was like something I knew I had to do. So, like I finally got my phone back on, and then it locks me out of Instagram. And it was the craziest thing ever. I couldn't remember my password, and because I already had it open, and I know this is a long story, but
Yeah, I'm here.
um, and I heard like a voice, and it sounds so freaking crazy, but it kind of sounded like my mom, who's deceased. And I was like, okay, let me try this, and I tried something, and it didn't work. And so I tried this one. I was like, I don't use two anymore though. The name and then the two, whatever after it. I said, I don't use that anymore. But I was like, okay, fine, I'll try it. And it got me in right back to that Dolores Cannon video. And it was the craziest thing because it's still the volume was going in and out. But after I saw that video, and it was one of the ones where she's actually talking about a spiritual awakening, what it was. Within that video, that's in the video where she talked about we're a soul living a human experience, everything, that it just hit me all at once, kind of like a vampire, when they turn off their humanity. I feel like I have covered up deaths. I have covered up the way people treated me my whole life. I've covered up being abandoned my entire life, living on the streets in my truck, just being treated by horrible people. But what was worse, I treated myself horrible. I tried to commit at 8 in my early 20s, and then in my early 30s. And after that, I didn't want to anymore. I got, I just didn't, I was depressed and had anxiety and stuff, but it wasn't that heavy anymore. But anyway, it's like after this video was done, I remember sitting there for a second. I said nothing. I sat there, and I was just looking at the wall. And I felt all these things come up that I'd blocked out. And all of a sudden, I'm not kidding, like I was down on my knees crying more than I've ever cried in my entire life. Like everything I could even hear the voices from the kids in kindergarten laughing at me. Because by age 12, I was 300 pounds. So I was class clown that thought I was funny, but I was always like, that one kid, coming out of the bathroom, there's jocks, you know, you have a tray stacked with chicken nuggets on it. The whole lunchroom cheering, saying, "Oh, she's so fat, she'll eat it." Just those voices came back to my head. And every single thing I blocked out, I felt. Everything. Everything. Like it was so crazy. Like I just remember looking in the mirror, apologizing to myself over and over, and I couldn't stop, and I touched the mirror with both hands, and I actually, for once in my life, saw through the human persona into my soul. And that same day, I was so thirsty for knowledge. I was wondering what is going on with me, like what's happening. I wasn't scared of it because I always knew I lived in a matrix. I always knew that half this stuff is bullshit. I don't know if I can say that, but I just did.
Yeah. Say whatever you want when you want. Go ahead.
um, like I've always known that. So some people, when they have spiritual awakenings, um, it scares them a little bit because it takes them way out of their comfort zone. I wasn't conditioned in that way. I wasn't conditioned by religion. I was pagan for 17 years. Um, Even, I mean, I just go by spiritual. I'm not a part of any religion. Um, do I believe religion keeps you trapped? Absolutely. Do I judge anyone that's religious? Absolutely not. because I believe if you're meant to awaken, you will awaken, and everyone's entitled to be who they want to be. And I think everyone's beautiful. Even their flaws, they're beautiful. And the people that are pissed off, they're just unhealed people. Some of them got so lost, they just can't find their way home. And home is yourself. If I just, I remember, I remember crying about my stepdad because there's times when I had to borrow money from him. I'm a single, not. I'm like a stay-at-home mom. I watch the kids. There's only one income in the house, so just thinking about all that stuff. I had to borrow money from him. I Since my awakening, I have not once, and it's not because I'm gonna try not to do it. I just didn't want to do it anymore. Like I just knew that everything was gonna be okay. I don't know how. I just knew it was. That's when I was always a universal girl, but that's when the same day I learned about, I was like literally going through Dolores Cannon videos. I couldn't stop her manifesting video. So I had two notebooks. I was thirsty for knowledge and I learned everything. And it's like that night I had my first lucid dream and I can't explain it. I can't explain it. All I remember is I felt, I looked back and everything was going so fast. I wasn't awake, I wasn't asleep. I was in between. And I just remember I remember my daughter was, like 1 or 2, I think she was 2 at the time. No, about to turn 2. Um, and yeah, because she was about to turn, yeah, she was 1. She's gonna be 6 this year. Um, but I just remember going to check on her. But when I looked behind me, there was like a light, like it was me though. People are gonna think I'm crazy, but I don't care. Let them think that. But it was me. And I just remember I kept hearing time doesn't exist. Time doesn't exist. Remember who you are. Remember who you are. And I remember looking around like, who's saying this? I shit you not. It was the craziest, coolest. Girl, I thought I was on LSD, mushrooms. I don't know what happened. I was like, okay, who slipped something in my tea? But no, it's like
That's
my
real.
higher self was
Yeah,
speaking to me.
yeah.
It was my higher self. And the crazy thing is, like I just I remember the next day. This is before, I was still doing tons and tons of research. This was and getting to know who I am. Um I I was always a crazy, like, my aura is just so colorful and like I try to be positive. I'm like the light everywhere I go. And even if I try not to be, I just am. After my awakening, before I knew you can't wake anybody up. If they're meant to awaken, they will. You can't force them. I was on this kick, and it's funny because so many awakened people, we try to do it because we want everyone to feel this way.
Yep.
Mine came with the chaos in the very beginning, but after that, it wasn't chaos anymore. I had a very short period of chaos, but I think it's because I suffered half my life. And I think we all suffer in our own way, but I suffered half my life. I was the black sheep, and I honestly, I never had anyone to turn to. Like no one. Like I know I'm bouncing back and forth. ADHD, squirrel, glitter.
Same.
But hell, you know what? um, I remember when I was 8, um, I was such a heavy, heavy little girl. And I remember I got gum in my hair, and my mom, her best thing was my mom, she did the best with raising us the best way she could. Okay. Like I'll just say that, with what she knew, how she was raised. But anyway, I had put gum in my hair. Instead of trying to get it out, trying to think of how to get it out, she decided to shave my head. So I was an overweight 8-year-old going to school in a pink, I just remember a pink teddy bear sweater that was already too big for me, looking like a boy, sitting in class. Boys pulled my desk out from underneath me, like all that stuff. So I remember that day I came home and I was crying. I couldn't talk to my parents about it. My dad was always in the basement playing EverQuest. My mom had her own things she was dealing with. She was the one really working all the time and didn't know how to love. She was never taught to love. So um, I couldn't go anywhere. I had no one to talk to. So I would find myself in my closet arguing with God. I was like, why'd you make me this way? Why can't you just kill me? Why can't I just be dead? I don't want to be here anymore. I don't understand what's my purpose. At an 8-year old trying to wonder what their purpose, it's just I feel like I was childish in ways, but also on a soul level, I excelled for my age. Put me in school, yeah, okay, that's I sucked at school, but
Same,
everything else I was good at. But
same.
yeah, it was just I just remember little memories like coming and going, and I remember just after I broke out of that, I was on cloud nine. Like it was insane. Like I went driving to Walmart, I was fist bumping out the window. Like the music I used to listen to. Like I still love them, but it's like my psyche won't let me listen to it, even if I wanted to. And it's not just I'm like, oh no, I want to be on a good frequency. My mind will not let me go negative. And it's and when I tell people I can help them stop overthinking, I'm not kidding.
Wow.
Like I don't know how. Like at first I know, like I know how to get them not to, but at first it was how can I say this? Oh my gosh. When my mind would go to something negative, like automatically I would think of three positive things. But you can't just think of it, you have to believe it. If you don't believe it, it's worth shit. It doesn't work. And I started doing that. And I started practicing it. And then now it's like I dismiss it. Like since I did all the chakra work, I dismiss it because I feel like it starts in your solar plexus. Because your stomach gets tightened and you can't stop thinking about it, and it gets in your crown chakra. It just blocks everything. But that's I felt it mostly in there. But um I just wanted to share this with the world so much that like the same music I just couldn't listen to it, like Tool stuff, like Tool, like anything that's depressed, the depressing music, like a Perfect Circle and stuff like that. That's kind of depressing. It's cool, but it's depressing. But anyway, so I'm not kidding. I walked through the doors at Walmart. I was like, hey, like I was just all over the place. I felt like I was a walking earth angel, and I was like, okay, Ashley, like part of me would be like, you need to chill. But there was not one part of me stopping me from acting like this, like I was trying to help everybody. I was like, I just walked up and gave this lady my $5 that was in a wheelchair. I was just acting like I was on cloud nine, and nothing was stopping me from, cars were honking at me because I was smiling out the window, fist bumping, like, yes, I'm free. I felt free. I wasn't, when I looked in the mirror, I forgave myself. I forgave myself for everything I've ever done to myself. Getting the scissors, thinking I could chop off my excess weight off of me, at age 11, like just all this crazy stuff. And I remember when I was about, 14, I developed 3 different eating disorders: bulimia, anorexia, and then binge eating. And I discovered all this. Number one, I didn't want to be overweight anymore. I didn't want to hear my parents call me a buffalo. I didn't want to hear kids at school call me a buffalo. I didn't want, people to bet on how much food I could eat anymore. I was just done with it. Like boys literally throwing themselves out of the way in the hallway saying, "Oh, Kegel," they called me Kegel Bagel. She needs room. She needs room. And they would jump out of the way. And the teachers laughed too. So a lot, like it was crazy, but I just didn't want that anymore. So I started, I don't know, I just cold turkey stopped eating. I became scared of food, drowning myself in water, which almost killed me. I don't know if I can say that anyway. It almost did me out. And I started jogging around the block. And I went from a size 24 wide in women's at that age, um, to a 10, 11 in juniors in a half year.
Wow.
And like my mom, it's like nobody noticed I was disintegrating. And I got all these ideas from watching Lifetime TV back in the day. They had a couple shows about anorexic girls and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, so that's how you do that. I was taking notes, like I was literally mentally taking notes. I had a At age 16, I had a mini stroke. Um, And I was laughed at. I laughed too because I didn't know what was going on. I couldn't talk. Like I was trying to say something, but nothing was coming out of my mouth, and my chest was getting tight. And my brother was laughing at me. My mom was laughing at me, and I was. What's weird is it. They said like a mild stroke because like it was pain, but it wasn't like so painful that I was like, um. And I remember I came home, jogged around the block, a few times. I drank nothing but water, like 3 saltine crackers the entire day, and I blacked out in the hallway. My mom just kicked me with her foot and said, "Girl, get up. This isn't your damn bedroom." They thought I was using, cocaine. Cocaine. They literally like there was no, "Are you on this?" They didn't question anything. They just assumed, literally said, "Well, if you would stop using that, blah blah." And I was like, "I'm not using anything." But after that, we lived in a building. When I was younger, we lived in a gas station, and kids already made fun of, you know how kids are. But I remember that situation where the first time I ever, which I'll tell you how as I got older, I understood what this meant. I used to look up at the sky. I would sit alone with all the voices in my head, my family laughing at me, kids laughing at me hating myself, but still I wanted to save the world. That's all I could think about was I have to save this world. It's ugly. And I remember looking at the stars. I remember seeing a shooting star that night. It was across from the gas station was an old feed mill, and I would go sit on those railroad tracks. And I remember I loved to look at the daffodils all the time because the daffodils, when they swayed in the wind, it reminded me of freedom, the freedom I wish I had. And I just remember looking out in the sky, just like, man, I wish there was a place I could call home. I just wish that there was a place where I would be accepted and loved. And I didn't see, it's like I wore half a mask because I was always me. But then there was a part of me that wanted to fit in, but I was still always goofy me. Um, so I kind of wore a mask, but I didn't. You know, but I remember my mom used to read tarot cards and stuff like that. So she had a witchy side to her as well. My mom had light to her. She was just I come from a lot of physical abuse and narcissistic abuse and mental abuse in my family, like all of them, but I can't say that my dad was kind of like that. My dad was like that with them too, my brother and sister. So, we kind of grew up with what we were taught. Like we weren't taught to love each other. I love my brother and sister, but we weren't taught that. Which is weird because I am the different one out of both of them. Um, but anyway, that let's fast forward. um after a few years after my awakening, I remember just waking up. I had another dream, except for I was sitting next to my old self. And what's weird is it wasn't the 8-year-old me or the 11-year-old me that, was wondering where home was. It was a version of me from just a couple years ago, but sitting in the same spot, looking up at the same sky across from the old feed mill. And I was like watching her, like she didn't know I was there, but I knew I was dreaming. And I couldn't hear her as herself talk. My 8-year-old self was talking through her, saying, "I wonder if there's a place out there that I could call home, that I'll be accepted." And then the crazy thing is, when I woke up, I was like, I looked in the mirror because now I do this thing where I look in the mirror every day and I say so many nice things to myself. I'm like, we're going to conquer this day. We are going to go and change somebody's life. We are going to save this fucking world like we always said we're going to. You're beautiful. You're a queen. You're a goddess. And we got this shit in the bag. I never thought I would ever be that nice to myself. But, but anyway, I remember after I woke up, um, I went to the mirror and I was like, I touched my heart and I said, we are home. Like we're free, like home. The entire time I was looking for a place called home, and it's been inside of me the entire time. I was my own hero, my own best friend. I wanted a savior to come and save me, but I had to save me. There's no one coming to save you. You are your own savior. You're your own divine being.
Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful because it's there's something that I want the world to get so bad, but my messages alone aren't even getting it across. But here's the funny thing. I'm not there yet. I'm not, I still have stuff to learn, and I feel like I will get that message out soon because I know my messages, I feel them getting stronger and stronger, and my vibration and my energy and my frequency. And I'm telling you, there's something. my, there's there's this really okay. He goes by the holistic scientist. He's one of the coolest dudes ever. Like he's angelic. He's just a very beautiful person inside and out. And we always talk, like I always mention Michael Jackson to him because I will tell you something about Michael Jackson. Whatever happened to him, whether that really happened to him or he's still living, that man has such a high vibration, such a high frequency, and is full of that energy. It is still here. And I feel like he also has a message left for the world. And I feel like he wants me, oh, here we go. People are going to think I'm crazy, but whatever. I feel like he wants me to tell them something because I like every time I don't think about him and I know because I've always liked Michael Jackson. I have. But it's never been like this where I hear his music. Even though I know the movie just came out. I get that. But it's different. It's people that I know that don't even really like Michael Jackson. Like, I mean, not hate him, but they just don't, they're indifferent about him. They're like, whatever. My nephew, he opened his phone. Um, like I was telling him, I was like, man, Michael Jackson, he was a healer on this earth. He was like a star seed. That man was like epic. He was powerful. He sent off such a big frequency. Why do you think people fainted at his concerts?
Right.
Why do you think, it wasn't just because they loved him? He had the biggest love frequency, I swear, on this earth. Like it's just like I was trying to tell him that too. And he goes, there goes Aunt Ashley again. She's being crazy. And all of a sudden, he opened he opened one of his apps. And he doesn't have TikTok. I don't even know what app it was. But you heard that Michael Jackson song. It's like, leave me alone, leave me alone. That one, I can't really.
I don't remember that one, but I'm gonna go listen to it.
I think it's called "Leave Me Alone" or I forgot what it is, but that song came on, and they don't play that song much. They
Okay.
don't play that song much, and you always hear the regular ones. But I'm telling you, that man has a message for me because he was in my dream the other day. He
Oh,
was in my dream, and I felt nothing but pure love and light entering my heart. Not like a possession or anything. I don't want people to go all crazy in their human brains. But yeah, I just think there's been a lot of angelic, like Jim Carrey was angelic. That man had a huge spiritual awakening.
yeah, yeah.
And like let's just say we both know Hollywood is very, very evil. It's a very evil place.
Yeah.
um but when people, if you notice, more and more people are starting to go down the rabbit holes. They're starting to, like, their souls starting to remember, because I really believe that you are conditioned at birth. And I also believe that, and when you're born into a family, I know that I do like that Dolores Cannon does say, she does say that, you choose your parents, because there's something, maybe there's something that they have to do with your mission,
Mhm.
maybe how they raise you or something. But I also think that, just like, this is a big school. Earth is it's a school. You learn a lot of things here.
Mhm.
Um, I believe that, just like our souls know what we're here to do, I think there's also another side of the coin, because you can't have light without dark. You can't have dark without light. I think that some of the dark entities came on here into souls, but once they're here, just like we don't remember, they remember a little bit more, but all they know is they're supposed to not be very nice to us to keep us sleeping. I believe that that's why certain people have crossed my path. I believe that I do hold a very strong power that really will. New Earth needs it. New
Yes.
Earth is here, and New Earth needs my power. But it's not just me. It's so many other people that I see that have this, and it's we had it the whole time. We just had dark entities stopping it from coming to the surface. So we were, it's like our soul got buried underneath the hate, underneath the doubt, underneath the conditioning of the world. And I believe, deep down, our higher selves got stronger and stronger, and started ripping it apart. They're like, no, we have to come out now. We have got to wake them up.
Hmm.
Time, like the time is now.
Hmm.
But I remember, I will tell you, if people could see how I used to be to myself, I every time something happened, I'm telling you, like I've been with so many narcissistic people, but it's because how I felt about myself.
Right.
The world would treat you how you like. It's like how you feel about yourself is how the world's going to feel about you. You send that frequency out there, and it's boomeranging right back to you.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to literally, like, okay, when a dude would treat me like crap, my ex-husband, when he would treat me, like that, I would look in the mirror and say, because you're not skinny enough, you're not good enough. Why do you always do this to us? Why don't we just do what we're going to do? Why don't we just end it all? You're stupid, you're fat, you're never going to be anything. Like, I was mean to myself. And the crazy thing is the more mean you are to yourself, you break your own heart.
Yes.
That heartbreak you feel, and I felt it. I pierced my own heart. I was
Speak.
sticking that dagger deeper and deeper.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure you can relate, like, like once you flip the coin back to the light side,
Hmm.
and of, like, to us, not oh my gosh, I'm getting tongue tied, sorry. um like, once people are more awakened, or even go on the healing journey, I think that can spark an awakening. But I think videos alone can spike awakenings. um just like Dolores Cannon did mine. Like, when people, I think people might think that I'm just saying that, but if they could really see the old Ashley that used to, you know sleep in her truck and just wish, just I was always wishing for a happier life, you know thinking that if I do this, they'll love me more. If I do that, they'll love me more. If I do this, they'll accept me. I never said no, because if I say no, I'm not going to be a part of the clan anymore. Although the parties were always at my house. but but I mean, I was a partier back then. I was an indie fed wrestler, and that's how I got a lot of my aggression out. But I mean, there's so much more I could say. So much more.
Well, I want you to think about that because we're gonna cut this one here because I'm about to run out of town, but we're gonna go, if it's okay with you, we're gonna go do another one right after this one. I'm gonna let this one
Okay.
upload and because there's so much more to say. So I'm good with that if you're good with that.
Yeah, yeah, I'm gonna relocate to another room because I hear my daughter. She's like, "Mommy, it's my room, and I'm really tired, and you're in there, and my fluffy blanket is in there."
Okay. Yeah, no, it's perfect timing. Yeah, we'll figure this one out. I'm gonna upload this one and I think I'll get in touch with you and we're gonna continue because we got so much more to uncover and I'm excited.
Okay.
And I absolutely love it. Like I was just listening and you would just be surprised how much alike we are. And I'll share a lot more of that in our next
Good.
one.
I love that. I love that.
And yeah, it's so beautiful. Oh, I just had to hear. I had to hear. I've got 3 minutes left on this one, but I
Yeah.
had to hear what is behind this divine being and who makes you you. And it's just so incredible how you love and talk to yourself now and you teach other people this. You teach them how to do this. Why? Because you've walked through it. You had the experience of it. And
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah.
and it's like your old self and your new self. This is like a completely different you that you're
I
coming
just
from. It's, you
I
know,
never want anyone to feel alone. You know, they don't. No one deserves to feel lost and alone in the dark.
no,
They don't. They
no.
don't. I'm trying not to cry here, but I remember.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember. I don't want anyone to feel that way. They shouldn't have to.
And
And if
that's what,
family members are abusing them, they should know that you should drop anyone in your life that treats you like shit. You don't
yes,
need that.
no,
You don't need it.
no. And
They're
you,
not going to take one for anything. It's going to leave you with a heartache, you know. But yeah,
you,
I don't want anyone to feel that way.
you're,
Not at all.
you're incredible. And I had to have you on. All right, we're going to drop this one and we're going to come right back into another one. So give me about 10 minutes and I'll let you regroup, refresh. I'm going to regroup, refresh, and we're going to dive back in. But I love
Okay.
all of it. I'm just so honored that you're here. I just love it. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being
Thank
so
you.
open and so honest and authentic and beautiful you. So, all
Thank you so much. All
right. I'll see you in a few minutes.
right.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.